Hi, Rakib.
Hello.
I've been excited and looking forward to talking to you today, and I just wanted to hear a little bit about what was the seed that started this company that we are in now.
So I should start with my life back in India. So what I was doing my post-graduation funded by the government, and then I was doing okay. I was doing some part-time job. Plus, after my post-graduation, I was selected by one of the top company over there. I used to be a software engineer working back, in that company. And then the hours was so long. Eventually, I knew what I was doing, and there was not much I could do on that. And then it feels like, no, this is not something I want to do in my life. I want to make a bigger impact, and I didn't know really what it is that. So I was talking back and forth with Aisha that, I don't want this to be like this. So we thought, okay, maybe let's go back to the place we belonging to, because I was badly missing my parents, because it was like six years in a row almost in India, because we did a graduation and post-graduation at the same time, one after another, and did the part-time job, then the full-time. And then we wanted to come back to my parents and then try to spend some time with them. That's how it started. So I quit my job, and so did Aisha was, and we both came, and we've been working, like we used to work with other clients as well. We started doing, and then we started talking about, we should start making a company, and that is how it started. And then at some point, I used to work with a person in Canada also, and it didn't go well. Then we started working with John. And the moment I started working with John, I found, well, this guy is really passionate about something. He want to build something, and he had a very intelligent mind. That was the driving force,
Yes.
So you got to be wanting to work with a person who knows better than you,
Yes.
and you have to believe that, yes, this is the guy who knows better than you. So John was that kind of guy, charming, passionate, and the way he talks, I like each and everything about him. That was the main striking force. And then John was giving a task, and Chris was there as well.
Yes.
We had less talk about Chris because he was busy with other things figuring out, but John was there, always talking. We have been spending much time with him than I used to spend with even my parents. So that is how it went. And then we eventually required more people, because the first experiment we did, that has a positive result. We were able to successful with that result, and then eventually need more people. And that's how I brought Rashid, Aisha, one after another, because those are the people I trust most.
Yes.
And and then in the middle, what we realized, okay, back in our undergrad that time, what we thought was, we gotta be creating a campus in the sense of where you have a school, university, followed by a company, because we are into tech. And we got to be building that infrastructure, the ecosystem cycle where people come in, do their education, and it will be all funded by us. It's all funded by the organization, whatever it's making, but the corporate social responsibility will be eventually donated to the organization running behind. It doesn't have to be really profitable, but it has to be a self-operating,
yes,
rather than depending on anyone else. It can run independently.
Yeah.
And all the people we have around us, some of them are really poor. They cannot afford to have education. So it's one of our core values we added later on was education is important.
Yeah.
So, and then we are actually working on our visionary. So we formed a company, and at that time, the moment of time, because as John was passionate, we eventually wanted to create one, even whoever it is. But he was the main key pillar, based on whom we thought, okay, we can down this road because he's the right guy. Because good to be having the right person to get ready and start, because we have a lot of similarities in mind. So yeah, to answer your question, that is how we evolved, because we are on our course of making our dream successful, is like having a campus, getting everybody on board, make them good educated, and then use their educated talent in the organization and make big change. So we were into that mission.
Excellent. Now, one thing I notice about Left as a company, I noticed it in Canada right away, is how passionate the founders are about doing good in the world. They're not just in it for the business. They're really, business is almost secondary to the vision of doing good and changing the world. Tell me how you and John are like-minded that way.
Well, yes. So as I was saying before, that John was so passionate, and when they came down here first time, And then we figured out, okay, they want to do some impact to the community, and so do I. And all of us, like me, Aisha, and Rashid, they want to also make changes on the society. They want to do something that impacts really them. And but the back in our early days, when we are been talking back and forth about the time we've been working with Yo, that time we iterated several times. So at some point there was a time then where we didn't take our salary for a couple of months. We took half or something like that. So it's not that we are on the luxury of money and expending all of that. So we know the ups and downs of the business. And I heard later how hard it was for John and Chris to run this organization without letting everybody freaking out on them that this has happened. So if the founders tells, okay, I'm gonna run out of money in 15 days, everybody will be quitting from the job, and they did it so well. And at some point we've been talking about, okay, how does it look like? I said, okay, I could go basically anywhere in the world, and I was about to go to US from the past company from I quit. So it's no matter of that we want to make money. It's matter that we have some values where we are living at. Like for us, it's like family. I'm living for my parents,
yes.
And now that I have a child, so I'm living for my child and my parents. And I want to do impact. So yeah, that's essentially that is. And do impact as well, and so did the John and Chris also. So they were also running behind issues with their salaries and fundraising stuff, and you know how the hectic it is. But they could live a luxury of life anywhere in the planet, yes. And make a handsome amount of money that their life and wife could really enjoy. Their child could get basically everything in the planet, whatever they want, if their parents making handsome amount of money. So it was never be the case for me as well. As I said, could basically move anywhere and start our own dream come true. But it's not our own dream, it's for the whole world. You're not here for longer period, not forever. You're gonna be here for about shortest period of time, and you're gonna be making your mark on the planet. So that's how it's in line.
And you certainly are.
Yep.
What is your biggest dream for this company?
Taking that to the next level, making it self-sufficient, and making it so that we never run shortage of any talent. We want to be innovative in a way the entire world recognizes us. So that's what it is.
Excellent. Now, one of the things that I felt so comfortable as soon as I walked in here was seeing the legendary Lefty wall with all the core values that are inbred in our organization in Canada as well. Mm-hmm. So tell me about one of those values that's really important to you and why.
Yeah, one, if you ask me one, I would say two, because there's no one. It's
that's
just
okay.
Two. The first one is the family. Family is super important to me. The world is in this side, my family is in this side. I would rather choose family first.
Yes.
And then I'll choose the education, because that's where you get knowledge. It doesn't have to be the academic education. It could be any education you can get, acquire, learn down the road, and make changes to your society, changes to the way it has to be. You change, basically tweaking it and transforming something to something else. So I would say two of them, family and education. If you are educated in a good sense enough that you can really make a big impact to everywhere. If you have a good sense of mind, yeah, I'd say this too.
Yes. And how do you think that Right Mesh is going to make the world a better place?
I'd say definitely it will, because it's all started with the project we have started a couple of years ago, where we were having problems to talk back and forth with John and Chris in Canada. Everybody has to wait until we finish our communication. So there was always been a pain of offloading the bandwidth or the burden from the infrastructure. So with Right Mesh, no matter what, if you need a communication medium to reach somebody, you don't have to bother about, do I have internet, do I have money, do I have balance in my phone, or whatever it is, you're always connection. So we are giving it a new era of connectivity where everybody is connected to. It's like a decentralizing connections. So that if I go down anywhere, any country, in just going off from the plane, I am connected. I can basically message anybody any time, and I'm not into a trouble. Even if I am into a trouble, I can message somebody else, letting them know that, okay, this is what the problem is. So when the entire planet is connected, you can see the 6 billion people who are not connected eventually be part of this connection. They can exchange that information. they can eventually learn. So that is coming our one of the value that is education is important.
Right.
And that education coming by default on this. So we are living with this connection. We are living on our core values. So
Yes.
we think it's going to transform the whole world. It's never been anything like that relates to the token or anything. Just a media of incentivizing people so that they find a reason. Okay, this is how I do. But this has to be done because even if you're doing a job, you should get a salary or some sort of incentive that will make you better and better.
Yes.
And you eventually wake up in the next morning and get your food, get more energy, so something like that. This is a fuel of our mesh network, so it's not anything bad. So I think it's going to be transforming the whole world. Right now, they cannot even read the newspaper. Those part of the world, I visited myself, many part of India, Bangladesh, they don't know how to get a newspaper. They may get it 2 days later after publishing. So that's not doing any good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting how it's going to
Yeah.
change the world, and how the whole idea and the concept of Right Mesh was born right here out of your own pain that you guys felt here.
Yeah.
Well, Rakib, I know what makes a really good company and passionate employees is the leadership. And I just want to say how powerful it's been for me to be here and learn how passionate the people are who are working here, how they all have the same mission to do good in the world. And I just think that you and Aisha should take a lot of credit and be very proud of the leadership that you're providing here. It is making a change in these people's everyday lives, even before we go out and change the world. I'm almost breaking into tears. It's been very, very powerful.
I would say it's just not two of us, it's like all of us, especially the credit with the team we have in Myanmar, Ridge, BC, because without their support and their helping, their advice, their knowledge sharing, it won't be possible at all. So I would say the whole team, the whole company together, we are making this transformation because we cannot alone do nothing.
I agree, and it's just amazing that we're all one big family, even though we're hundreds and thousands of miles apart. It's amazing to walk in here and feel like I'm part of your family, even before I even knew you guys. It's very, very powerful.
Excellent. Thank you very much.